This
So,
conference will now be recorded.
alrighty then. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Montez Stewart. All right. This is Carrier Management Training and Education. This is basically an open training for everyone um, that can see how I do things and to, learn something. Maybe I may say something that you may know. Maybe I may say something that you may not know. You never know. I feel I have a lot to offer. And share with everyone here today. During my trainings, you're going to need like your notebooks, your calculators, and these are the reason why I can't, a quiet area, but more so, what I'm doing now is I'm training others, I'm scaling my business, I'm still doing carrier management, working with other carriers, but I'm not only providing a service that help them scale their business and make a profit every week. I'm also coming up with ideas that can help them also further their company besides the work that I'm already doing for them. I'm already, helping them book loads, but now I'm helping them buy trucks. So there's a lot of things that you can do in this business along with, you know, providing loads for your carriers. You know, you're going to be providing a lot more services than what you think in this business. At that time, I'm scaling my business, scaling my business, and I got my broker's authority.
945.
So maybe.
Okay.
Hold on.
Now, for me,
One
carrier
second.
management is about communication, commitment, knowledge. You got to
One.
know your drivers, you got to know your carriers, you got to know your trucks, you got to know the time. It's a big responsibility, real big responsibility on what you're doing because you're going to hear me say this a lot. But once you work with a carrier and you connect with a carrier, you became a CEO of their company. You're getting a percentage of every load that they make. You're getting a percentage of their profit. Now, I see a lot of people, say their biggest challenge is connecting with a carrier, finding carriers. Yeah, you can see me. All right. I'm not hidden, but a lot of people, they finding carriers. They're cold calling, they're going out flyers, they're doing Facebook. You're doing all these things, but can you really connect with the carrier? Do you know the carrier's lingo? Do you know their language to talk to them about what you can do for them? Do you know the equipment that they're driving? Do you know the markets that they're be in? The areas that they have to go to? That's some of the barriers about it because it's not that you're finding carriers, but some of us don't know how to talk to them. I didn't know how to talk to them in the beginning when I got into this. I had to learn their lingo because I was coming from a whole different occupation. You got to know what kind of truck they drive. You got to know, how they want to move. Do they want to stay 10 weeks out? Do they want to stay 10 days out, 14 days out? Do they have to be home over the weekend? How can you talk to them? By the time that you know how to talk to them, finding carriers is going to be easy. That's going to be less of your problems because when you find a carrier and you do them right, guess what? They're going to tell someone else. Everybody's doing the same thing to where it's good for you to go to the truck stops. I went to the truck stops. I also had a reason to go to the truck stops because my uncle drives a truck. Go to the TNA. I'm there all the time. That was a little bit easier for me. I'm just there, going to pick them up or whatever, going to switch out a truck, going to go in the truck, go to check the flatbed. So while I'm there, you know, give them donuts, give them, give them little bags, put a juice in there and a little sandwich and your business card or whatever it may be. You just give it to them. Talk to them about what they drive. Look at the different trucks. Hey, Hey man, I don't drive them, but I seen this one. You don't mind if I can, step in your truck and look inside, do you? It's about basically connecting with them, right? That's what carrier management is. That's what you're doing. Because you're going to realize at the end of the day, you're going to be more than a dispatcher. You're going to be more than the dispatcher. You're going to have a lot of responsibilities. You're going to have to be in contact with the carrier, the driver, the broker, the factoring company. You got to make sure that you're calculating all the rates. See, we're talking about finding carriers. So now, when you find a carrier, now you got to go to the next step on talking to these brokers. So how y'all going to talk to the brokers? How you going to negotiate right? How you going to know that you can basically, you know, book a load and feel confident that you're not getting, one over on you? Did you calculate the miles right? Did you add the deadhead? Then you got to think about his hours of service. Do we have any more hours? How many hours does he have? All these things that you have to think about and consider. But that's a little bit of rundown what you know, like in the beginning that I can go over a little bit more. Um, I go over compliance about equipment. You got to know your equipment. That's what we're talking about carrier. See, in my course, you actually don't. We don't even talk about carriers until the third day because we need to know some of this IFTA. We need to know IRP. We need to know TWIC. We need to know the UCR programs with these new MCs. You got a whole bunch of new MCs. How do you handle a new MC? How do you handle it? You're going to be making phone calls. People are going to say, oh, you need 6 months. Oh, you need 90 days. Snyder, you need 157 days with Snyder. Most of the ones that's going to take the new MCs, you have Coyote, you have TQL, you have um, Convoy, like some of the little big ones that that you can work with. But boy, it's a pain in the ass, right? So we got to help your carriers be compliant. See, these are things that you can talk about. We're talking about finding carriers. Everything that we're going to be going over is going to teach you how to find a carrier because it's going to show you how to basically talk to them. We're going to talk about that. Hours of service, the ELD, we all know that. You got to get some forms. You got to make sure that they're compliant. You got to make sure that they're safe. So you're going to have to keep up with some of these things so you can help your carrier be compliant, make sure that he has all the right documentation. And it's crazy out there. Can you imagine? I seen a video a couple days ago where It was a whole bunch of trucks just crashed. It was black ice. Can you imagine being the dispatcher on those loads or the carrier manager on those loads? Can you imagine that? You can't just sit back and fall. Oh man, that's what happened. Oh, all right. Well, let me know. Let me know how it turns out. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You involved in that. If you involved with this load and this deal and this business, then you're in it all the way until it's completed. Get you ready for all the changes that's coming. 2002 is going to be here in a couple weeks in February. That's when they're going to be making the decision on everything. You know, you got to go over the equipment. We go over the equipment. Then you know what you know when you know about it. Then basically you know right what to say to them. Well, how you doing, sir? Oh, I'm doing fine. So what do you drive? Oh, I don't. My equipment is 26-foot box truck. Okay, great. How long you had that? They're gonna tell you, oh, I just got it. Just got my MC. Okay, great. So let me ask you this: is your truck equipped with E-tracks? You're gonna tell you yes or no. Low bars. I'm gonna tell you yes or no. You have a pallet jack, lift gate. What's the average inch of the height of the clearance of your box truck? Know the dimensions. You got to know the dimensions. You want to talk about it because that's what you're going to be talking about when you're booking their load. You got to know these things. You don't want to keep on calling back and forth and be like, all right, let me ask my carrier real quick. Hey, do you have? You ain't want to. You gonna then lost the load. You got to know this information up front. You got to know the detailed information of your carrier when you call on these brokers to book them a load. And see, we're talking about everybody saying, you know, they want to find carriers. This is how you find them by knowing what to talk about, knowing what to say. Go over your sprinter vans. That's the same way. Hot shots, your tractors, and things to know about hot shots. You know, you got to have ramps, straps. These are all the things that you need to know so you can know their lingo. So when you come across a situation of talking to a carrier, now you have more to talk about than hey, I could book you loads. Anybody can book a load. What else do you offer besides doing that? What else can you talk about? Everybody in here wants to basically be successful and grow. So basically, when you know how to talk to your carrier, you're going to be able to find carriers that is going to fall in your lap because you're going to be moving up and getting better and booking loads, helping another carrier be successful. But you know your power onlys, gotta know things about that, gotta know the lingo about that. Like you're always gonna be, you know, getting knowledge. So the more knowledge that you get, the more that you could pass on to your carrier to where when you're having a conversation with them, it's a lot more easier and it'll last a lot longer. You don't want to talk, you don't want to get on the phone and hey, how you doing, sir? Well, um, my name is Montez from JAL Logistics, and I was just calling to see if you found any way of getting any loads. Can't say that. Oh, I'll look you up later, or I'll keep you in mind. There's ways about going about things. Have confidence to talk to somebody that you know you want to do business with, because it's a serious conversation. You know, a person that when you're talking to a carrier, you want them to think about any other thing than you getting a percentage of each of their loads. That's the last thing that you want him to think about. Because remember, you're going to become a CEO. Got to know some of these things. Got to know about reefers. Got to know about chassis. Got to know about flatbeds. And everybody, somebody give me a thumbs up in the chat to make sure that y'all can hear me. Great. Thank you. But these are things that you want to know. This is how you find carriers. But that's not even the tip of the iceberg. You got to just find your niche. And I'll go over that with you. I'll help you with that. Figure out the types of loads. Now see, this one is the one right here. Do we know our markets? Do you know the markets? Do you know the regions? Do you know the states? Do you know what they do? See, when you know that, that gives you more conversation with the carrier that you're vetting, and they're vetting you. See, you're gonna be all over the place. Hold on. Is this all right? Sorry about that. But the markets, that's a very important thing, because when you basically are in these markets and you have these carriers, you want to be able to talk about that market. You want to have enough research done, talk to enough brokers before you even have a carrier, because you could talk to brokers as well. You could also, talk to them and say, hey, my name is Montez. I was just calling to, see what you got running. What do you have consistently running? What lanes do you have? They're gonna let me know. I had a guy today. He does reefer loads. He said for the next 6 weeks, he's gonna have reefer loads. Right. Earlier today, I posted a truck in one of my, with my class, that I have. I posted a truck in Cleveland, Ohio. Been getting phone calls on it. And he called me. But the next thing you know, as I was talking to him, I was like, hey, so you have this load all the time? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna have it for the next 6 weeks. Really? Reefer? Yes. Really? You know? So here it is in Cleveland, in the Midwest, reefer load. So I know if I'll send the truck up there, I know I'm getting out. Don't you think that'd be a lot easier when you're talking to your carrier? So which so Mr. Carrier, which way do you go? You know, with some of the lanes? Well, I like driving up to Ohio. Oh, really? Okay. You know, he lives in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, to Cleveland, Ohio. You already know you're going to get him out. Something to talk about, other than, oh, I can, book you loads. Yeah, I know a broker up there. You know, we run a lot of business. Right now, as a matter of fact, in the next 6 weeks, he's going to have these 4 days a week. But we want to take it left all the time. Let's talk about more than what we can offer, talk about more that we know, because we've been doing our research. We see this stuff every day because this is our, occupation now. We all want to do this, you know, carrier management. I like to say carrier management. But we all want to do this. We all want to do this. We all want to network. We want to help people grow. We want to gain the knowledge that we need to be successful. We want to take care of our families. We want to be financially stable. It starts off by knowing what you're getting into, to where you have the knowledge with the carriers, you'll be able to talk to them, speak their language. But these are things that I, teach going over these markets, because these markets is very important that everybody needs to know. And as you go along, you're going to realize that all the things that you basically is learning and going through, you're basically going to be able to talk to your carriers and build, uh, you know, what's the word I'm trying to say? Well, the carrier will build confidence in you. You talking their language, knowing the routes. You got to know the states. Like when you sit here, you talk about let's see, someone's from Atlanta, so we're gonna take 285 or 85, go down to Alabama, cross over on 20. You're going to Texas, you're gonna keep on going there on 20 till you hit the I-10. You're talking their language. Coming through Tennessee, 81. You go 81 and keep on going up on 64, go east towards Virginia, all the way to the end, go through DC, go up 95, talk their language. See, when you prepare yourself, then next thing you know, this is gonna be easy peasy for you. You're gonna be able to talk to the carrier fluently. But yeah, know your states, know the markets. Now, when you know your markets, you also got to know the rates. When you know these markets and now you know the rates, then you know what's going, what it's going for, what you can do. When you calculate the miles and then you have the rate and you do the rate divided by the miles, then you get your rate per mile. That's what you automatically got to know. And then there's something that you can connect with the carrier as well. Oh, so you run those RAN loads out of there? Oh, where you go at? Oh, I go from Chicago. to Kansas City, Missouri, and back. Sometimes I go to Texas and Rosenberg, Texas. 30 minutes outside of Houston or Laredo. Though nobody want to go to Laredo, El Paso. But people be going though. Texas is okay, even though it's like the largest state in America. But yeah, know the rates and just think about it. Just think about everything that I briefly just went over. You basically can use all this to talk to your carriers. It's not that it's not that you having a problem finding them. You're just having a problem talking to them. You could talk nice, you could talk polite, you could do all that, but everybody, that's in your nature to treat someone with respect. Not saying that. I'm not saying that you don't know how to properly talk.
Hello?
Okay,
Yeah,
he
can you
must
hear me?
be yours.
Yeah, I just can't hear my says anymore.
Okay, he must have realized something.
Did we lose them?
I think he's trying to reset up.
It says he's experiencing technical difficulties.
Oh, okay. I can't see nothing. It sucks.
Right, he's probably logging out and logging back in.
Okay, cool.
So hi, while he's doing that, I'm Karita Q. I'm from Illinois. Where's everybody from?
My name is Nikki. I'm from Florida.
I'm Jerry from North Carolina.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Everybody's from different states.
I'm Kimberly. I'm
Sandra?
from Georgia.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I was saying I was Kimberly and I'm in Georgia.
Oh, and you in Georgia.
I'm in Florida.
Oh, I got another Floridian.
I'm Honora from North Carolina. Jerry, what part of North Carolina are you from?
Sanford. I'm near Raleigh.
Oh
Okay,
snap!
I'm in Durham.
Okay, cool.
Oh snap! Hello, where did I left you up?
We
Where?
forgot. We didn't start talking amongst each other.
Julianka Jackson from Memphis, Tennessee.
You
I'm
were just
East
going
from South Carolina.
How long have y'all been now?
Probably just,
um
Maybe 30
probably,
seconds, if that.
yeah.
All right. So what did y'all last hear?
You said everybody
I'm
was getting a free pizza tonight.
Oh,
so you were just pretty much I guess finishing up on based on like how the regions are separated and if we know the states and like where they usually have like lanes.
okay,
You were talking
okay.
about nobody wants to go to
Basically what's up right now,
Texas.
like the region.
The reason. All right.
Yeah, you were saying how nobody likes to go to El Paso in
Oh yeah,
Loretto, Texas.
So
yeah.
what you got it right now, just out of curiosity, are these the current rates or is this like is this already preloaded?
No, this not the current. This is current rates from November. So they're basically from I think the 21st of November
Okay.
that I these rates was from. But this basically as for right now, this is basically example throughout my class. I go to the actual rates on DAT. So DAT will you know we'll see the updated rates because it's easy to pull up the rates in any lanes that you want to go because basically it's going to let you know there, right, you know, when you're looking at it. But it's real easy to pull up. Yeah, I'll show you. You just always do a quick rate search on your vans. So where you from? Now,
Oh, I'm from Ohio. Oh, sorry.
what part of Ohio?
I'm from Cleveland, but I'm currently out in Streetsboro.
Oh, van, and it just showed me a rate. But finding rates and everything, I go over that, and real easy to do. But it's better to know a rate and know how to negotiate. Know how to negotiate the rate because you can make your own rate. See, the market's going to change up and down all the time, just like the stock market. But because that changed, your negotiating don't change. You gonna always know what it takes to move your truck. You should. We can look at rates and what the average rates are all the time. But you gotta be able to, you know, bend the rules when you negotiate. And when you negotiate, that means that you're asking the right question in a timely and efficient manner. You're getting the information that you need. You're controlling the conversation. And you got to do all that quick. You got to remember when you're looking to book this load, somebody else is looking to book the load too. So you and that broker got to get together real quick. But how can you do that quick if you don't know what to ask? And then every time that you say something, you say or that can get you hung up on. But the rates real easy. It's real easy. You got to do, when you look at the rates, you also got to consider, trip planning, the fuel cost on the trip. You got to know your routes. You got to know your highways. You got to know the mobile mechanics because what if something happens? Flat tire, a crash, a hazmat, if you have hazmat drivers. Things are handling a problem. These are things that you're going to have to handle. So yeah, you're going to be doing more than you know, what you think. Got to know about a lumper fee. Do anybody know what a lumper fee is?
No, I don't.
That's the
Okay.
fee you pay uh outside source to unload the truck.
Amen.
You said
Lump,
lumper fee?
yeah, lumper fee.
Let me write that down. Lumper fee.
Is that like a
No,
handling fee?
no, it's not a handling fee. Well, it's basically you'll see lumper fees like at like Food Lions, like all the grocery stores like Kroger. You want to get Lowe's in there sometimes. So depending on where you go, what they do, just like the Miss Lady said, um, they hire an outside source to unload, the trailer or the reefer. They pay them for the unloading. So when they pay them for the unloading, the broker or the driver has to pay for it. So it get done. If the carrier has to pay for it, then they're going to get reimbursed, or are they going to do an e-contract? So, you know, you always just got to ask about the lumper fee when you're unloading your van or reefer or anything that you have to unload. You ask the lumper fee because that could cost money and it could cost time. You know, I had a guy, he was sitting there for a whole 2 hours, and next thing you know, he waiting. He ain't even tell us about he ain't even tell us about the lumper fee. Like, why are you waiting there? And didn't tell us about the lumper fee. He was like, oh, I thought they was gonna call you. No, you gotta call. Like, why? What are you doing, dude? But yeah, you're gonna have lumper fees. These are things that you're gonna ask your care. These are things that you're gonna ask the broker. Phew, I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff. There's no way I could teach y'all everything that y'all need to know in 1 hour. No
Did
way.
he at least get the detention pay for sitting there for 2 hours?
Huh? Not if you don't. Oh, good question. Not if you don't
No,
log
I
it.
just want to know what was he doing? Playing games on his phone or? I'm sorry.
Oh man, you know that is something that's a touchy subject because I'm very passionate about what I do. So I like to have things on point. I like have to have communication. We have to make sure that we're on the ball because what I'm doing is once you there, I'm booking you another load, dude. And you telling me you sitting there for 2 hours? You taking up my time of letting me know where I could book this load for you so we can keep going. But you sitting here for 2 hours twiddling your thumbs, not communicating with nobody, and and chilling in a sleeper. No, that's not cool. Over a lumper fee that you thought that, oh, I thought they was gonna call you and tell you. No, don't you think that you need to do something if you waiting more than 10 minutes? I'm sorry. Yeah, that happens.
Montez, I have a question about the lumper fee.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as a dispatcher, when you're talking to a broker, you ask, is there a lumper fee? They say yes. So it's on the driver to, how does that work as far as
How?
getting that fee paid? Because I have to be paid right then.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. The fee. Now you ask them if it's a lumper fee. It's just something that we're prepared for. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
they say you have a lumper fee. Okay, how much is it? Well, I don't know. All right, so what we gonna do? Are we gonna get a com check, or do we have to pay for it and you reimburse us? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So them are the two options that you can do in the beginning. You know what I mean? If you don't know about it and you forgot to ask, trust me, that's why I'm having this conversation. Like, well, it only took me one time. You know what I mean? Because when something costs something when you out on the road and it's a mistake, it's only going to take you one time to realize, now that's not happening. We're going to prepare for something like that, so nothing's wrong the next time.
Who engaged?
You know what I mean?
I thought they were
So
saying number
so you
fee.
always so you always going to ask, and if you forget it pops up on you, just handle it efficiently and get it done, get it out the way, get it paid, and move on. But we're always going to know that we're going to get that money back. You know,
Okay. Thank you.
you always going to know you're going to get the money back. All right. So what's
We as a dispatcher.
huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even know my phone was on me. I said we as a dispatcher is gonna get the reimbursement back. That's what you said.
Yeah, like the carrier is not us. Like,
Oh,
all
the
right,
carrier. Okay,
yeah,
I'm
the
sorry,
carrier.
cause my phone. Okay.
All right, and when we talking about these fees and everything, I want to let everybody know because I see a lot of people say, "Oh, well, if they get detention fees and all the good stuff, do we charge them for it?" No, you don't charge the carriers or percentage or anything for retaining the detention or lump, like anything, like nothing, like all that extra stuff.
So
Keep that
just
under.
real quick, is there a difference between lumper fee and detention fee?
What was that, ma'am?
I'm sorry, is there a difference between the two, like the detention and the lumper?
Yeah, detention time is basically time that like that's why you that's why it's important to ask, the unload time, okay? Because when you get there, let's say you get there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and next day you've been there for 2 hours. Now, on average, most brokers' detention time don't start until 2 hours. But that's why you always have your driver check in. They're gonna always check in. So you always got to have them check in. All right, when you get there, you got there at 8 o'clock. All right, cool. Your clock's going to start. And also remember, guess what else clock is running? His clock that he got to that we need. So if he there for 2 hours, guess what? We lost 2 hours of drive time. But yeah, he gonna the detention time starts at 2 hours. Then some brokers say $35 an hour, maximum hours, 5 hours layover. A layover could be $150 a night. You know what I mean? So that stuff happens. I hate it when it happens because you got to think about what you lost if you have to hold your time over something that's going on at another place that you don't have control of. You're like, are you serious? They still ain't unload your trailer? Like, yo, this is going, like, what are they doing back there? You're gonna see you're gonna see everything. You're gonna go through everything in this profession as you're basically getting knowledge, knowing that, like, knowing all these things, because it's more than just booking a load. It's more than that. We really calculating people's money. But I go over all that stuff. Load boards, we look at load boards. We was just on the load board. You got to look at the numbers. Like numbers is going to be your best friend.
I
You
have
have
a
to
question
train.
real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also go over like the carrier packages and contracting and stuff like that as well, or is that like a separate training?
Yeah, I go over everything.
I
Like,
was just looking
honey,
at the clock and I'm like, look, it's 7:20 now. You know what I mean? I know you said an hour, so
all right. Yeah, like I go over negotiating with the brokers. I go over finding carriers. That's the third day. This is like I'm just giving y'all a brief overview,
oh, so
of
it's every day.
everything. I'm not, huh?
Is this like more than also it's more than one session?
Hold on, I ain't hear you.
I'm sorry, I'm asking like, is it more than one session? So is this continued? Like, is this consecutive
Yeah,
Sundays?
the training goes through for 2 weeks.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Somebody referred me, so I wasn't aware of that. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I go over that at the end. But yeah, I help you. I tell we was just talking about truck stops. I help you out with that. Show you how to find them. I provide you with brokers list. We do all that. We got to get past the important stuff of learning how to talk to these carriers, learning how to break the ice. Like this is like right here. Some people have, don't have confidence. Like they want to know how to break the ice when you talk to a carrier. And this is one of the script. This is the script. Now this is a script that you could follow and make it your own. This is just a guide. You know what I mean? Y'all find the carriers. Y'all just know how to talk to them. Now we already learned how to talk their lingo. Now you need to learn how to break the ice so you can talk your lingo. Like this is just ways of going about it and talking to the carrier. Real good. Hello, may I speak to Mr. Carrier? Yes. Did I catch you at a bad time? He gonna let you know. Yes, no. He said, no, you ain't catch me at a bad time. Well, my name is Montez. I'm with JAL Logistics. I seen that you applied for your new authority. Congratulations. Got a new authority. Letting them know. Congratulations. Big step for you. Break the ice. Let them know what you're about. At JAL Logistics, we manage your truck and business. We provide services that help you make a steady profit on a weekly basis. This is what I help you go through. You want to know how to talk to them? I'm going to help you talk to them. I'm going to show you how to talk to them. We established relationships between the brokers and shippers that we worked with. We help you establish these relationships. That's what you're doing. You're helping your carriers, especially your new ones, establish relationships through you. You're helping them build a relationship with every broker that you book a load for. Let you know the questions to ask them. Because you're vetting them too. Like you don't want to, trust me, I've been doing it for a little bit to where you're gonna get carriers that don't like to communicate. You're gonna get a carrier that don't want to pay you. You're gonna get a carrier that's gonna argue with you about $100. You're gonna get a carrier talking about, oh, you ain't booking me enough loads, or you got me doing this. I told you I needed to be home by 2 o'clock on Friday. So it's imperative that you just don't dive into a relationship with a carrier. Cause he may have you all excited and everything, and the next thing you know, he ain't trying to do nothing, or he has things going on that he's not telling you. You calling him, hey man, hey, you good, or are we working together? So you gotta hold your carriers accountable too. You gotta ask questions yourself. Don't ask me all questions. I'm gonna ask you questions too, man. You having drug problems? I got a carrier right now, right? I got a carrier that I'm finding him a driver for. I done connected him earlier today, right? And my carrier, now this it's his MC, is he the man and everything. He doing everything. He got 3 box trucks, and we doing the deal on getting a semi. But he's sitting there talking to the driver. He all like, well, as long as you drive and everything's all good, I don't care what you do. I mean, I don't care about your background, as long as it ain't nothing bad, like bank robbery. But I don't care if you do drugs. I know everybody had to have a little cocaine, but yeah, I'm like, whoa, hey, He's a good driver. He ain't even into none of that. You know what I mean? But you gotta ask your carriers this. You gotta ask them. You know, you gotta know who you're dealing with, because these MCs is like people's credit. Your MC number, your carrier's MC number is like their social security card for the trucking industry. You gotta protect it. So you gotta make sure that they doing everything. You can look them up. You gotta build rapport with the carrier. I'll show you how to build rapport. I just went over the script. That's how you build rapport. Breaking the ice right there. Asking them how long they've been in the business. How long you been driving? What are some of the lanes that you like to run? How long do you like to stay out? Somebody said something about carrier packet. I go over all that. I let you know one important thing too, right here, right there. Number 7. Number 7 in my agreement is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, because this is how you protect yourself. You gotta learn how to protect yourself. Because at the end of the day, if something goes down, guess what? They're gonna be trying to blame you. You gotta make sure that everything's all clear what you got going on. Make sure that your stuff, you know, your T's are crossed and I's is dotted. And that's why number 7 is very, very important. Because you got to protect yourself. Because because as you're helping them build, helping them establish these relationships, helping them make a steady profit on a weekly basis, you are helping them build their business. So you're very important. See, carrier and dispatcher agreed that dispatcher, at great expense, has developed a broad customer base of shippers, receivers, and brokers that is essential to the successful operation of his company. That's basically letting them know that you're essential. Wasn't a whole bunch of essential workers just a couple years ago getting a lot of pay raises because they was working during the COVID?
That was last year, sir.
Last year, right? That was last year, wasn't that? Essential workers, right? They got essential discounts. You're essential to their business, to the successful operations. Don't you want to protect yourself for the things that you built? You imagine you building your house and the next day you know you didn't bought it and somebody just took it away from you? But hold on, man, I just built this. We worked together. You okay? That's why my agreement has this. Okay. See, like when you go down a couple, this is where it hurts right here. Because when you go down a couple sentences, it says during the term of this agreement for a period of 2 years from termination, meaning that you can leave, but for 2 years, carrier shall not directly or indirectly solicit or do business years from this termination. Shall not directly or indirectly solicit or do any business involving transportation of the warehouse in nature, basically of everything that I did. So that broker that we was running them good loads with, yeah, that was a good month. Well, you can't talk to him for 2 years, man. Can't do nothing. And see, if it happens, then number 11, You know what I mean? Number 11, that clears it all up too. So you have to protect yourself. This is part of your carrier packet. That's the number one thing. But it's crazy that the number one thing, right, always comes at the end. The number one thing always comes at the end. That's why I said you got to go through all these stuff. You got to make sure that you're talking to them right. They talking to you right. You know, you got to make sure that everything's going to line up. Because talking about an agreement and your percentage is the last thing you want to talk about. You ain't gonna be talking about what you charge them in the first three to 5 minutes. You tell somebody what you know what you charge them within 3 to 5 minutes, then the conversation's gonna be, nah, all right, I'll call you. I keep you in mind. I got your number. Is this the number you call? All right, I got you. But that's your agreement. But you're gonna need more information than a W-9, COI, authority letter, a notice of assignment. Like those four things. Only thing those four things do is basically allow you to sign up the carrier with the broker. Okay. But you're gonna need to know more in-depth information about their truck, who their driver is. You're gonna need to know need their driver's license. With some of the brokers, you may need their social security number, the DOT number, their truck number. See, that's why I was saying know your numbers. You're going to see all combinations of numbers, whether it's a load number, a MC. You're going to be saying an MC a lot, and heaven forbid if you have multiple, carriers, then you're going to have to rip off MCs. I got 885 I got 1103797, 1233394, 1061760, 1337070. You're gonna know these MC numbers. You're gonna have to know the rates. You're gonna have to know the weight. Talk about the weight. Now, if you're talking about the weight of the cargo, right? You gotta know that. That's very important. Because what if you book a load for him for 44,000 pounds, and he's saying, man, I don't carry that. I do everything under 40,000. And then sometimes the truck won't handle it. What kind of truck do you have? Is it going to be a DD15, DD13? Do it have a DEF system? Is it a Cummins? You got to know all these things. So when you find your carrier, what are you going to do with them? Like we talking about finding carriers. What's the next step after finding a carrier? Do you have a TMS system? Like how are you going to keep up with him? How you going to keep up with his money? How you going to keep up with the loads? You're going to have to ask them a whole bunch of questions. Your factoring agency. Oh, you don't got one? Well, I can help you with that. You're going to need to know a whole bunch of information. You know what I mean? Talking to them, building your own carrier profile to where what he do. If he has a TWIC card, if his company has a SAC code, is it UIIA? You know how long he wants to stay out, how long he wants to stay home, how many miles he could drive in a 10-hour, 11-hour day. You know, you want to know these things. So you say if he says, "Oh, I only do 400 miles a day," or "I only want to do 500 miles," well, you know not to book him a load for 623 miles. Or at least you ask him, "Hey man, I got one 623 miles. It's paying 3,200. It's reefer load. You carrying a whole bunch of grapefruits, avocados, watermelon, beer, whatever the case may be." You got to know all these. You got to know all these things. How to set them up. Help you create templates.
Mr. Montez,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if it's anybody else, but I'm just going to speak because I didn't know. I just hit it by accident. So this entire time you've been going through your PowerPoint presentation, and I do apologize. I do not mean to interrupt you in the middle of your presentation. But I just realized you do have a presentation on a second screen. I'm looking at your presentation from my iPhone. So it was two separate screens. And I had been looking at you the whole time, not realizing you had a separate screen for your PowerPoint. So if anybody else is looking at their this meeting, is two screens. If you don't know, you scroll to the right or the left. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. But I help you. I help you. Get all this stuff set up. Point you in the right direction. Help you show you how to do rate cons. So now that you got a carrier, you talk to the broker. Do you know how to handle a rate con? You know how to do that? You know,
That's when you send back over the information confirming that you are agreeing to that rate based on the time that are
uh,
presented. Okay, right?
did you say something?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Don't worry about it. I'll put it in chat.
Okay. All right. So what's the left rate? All right. Let me see. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? Anyone? The software? What software? Did I show software?
Hi, you had a list of software. Can you just go back on it for me, please? Right.
The list of softwares. Like, what you mean by softwares? Like,
It came before the rate cons.
oh, oh, software. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, this basically, you know, things that you're gonna need. Like, you're gonna need a load board. You're gonna need a TMS. Like, your TMS is like your system where you're gonna keep, your carriers. And keep the information. Um, that's gonna tally up. That'll tally up like the rate per mile and who's doing what and you know like this is my TMS right here. So it lets me know this is what I put my stuff in and lets me know my rate per mile, lets me know what I'm doing per the average rate per mile, with dry van, lets me know my carriers. So this is a software that if you're looking that you can get um and but that's your CRM. Obviously, you got your DAT load board. Um, you want to make sure that you have a printer so you can basically print out your rate cons and keep a file for yourself. Have a computer. I suggest have an extra phone. I got extra phones all over the place. Okay. And then email marketing. I'll talk to you about that. I'll talk to you about, you know, negotiating with these brokers, what to say to them, how you go through the process of the rate con. Yes, ma'am.
Montez, when it comes to the DAT load board, what subscription do you suggest? Because there are a few different ones. Which is the best for if you want to be a productive dispatcher?
I would say DAT power. I fight the power. I like power. Okay.
Okay,
Because power,
that is
because what time is it? Like, all right, let's see here. I don't even know. I'm gonna leave it posted there. But I like power. And the reason why I like power, okay, is because like they got the alert things on there. It rings, it gets on my nerves at times, but when it rings, I know I got another opportunity, right? So it's always a positive. Okay. You can have multiple searches on those top boxes. So when you have all these you know, carriers that's out, only thing you have to do is just post your truck in the area that they're in, and you can just go right here. You going through state and area through area very quick, right? With the other ones, with Trucker Edge, you can't do that. You can't flip it back and forth. You got to go through it. It'll pull up another screen and another screen, and then if you have more than two screens up, then it's going to kick you out.
mhm.
You know. But hey, we all started somewhere. I mean, I started with like my uncle. He had the old 39.99. I said, oh, that ain't gonna work. Sir, that's not no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's not what you want to do. Not what you want to be success. Like if you want to accelerate faster, I would say, because you could be successful with the little one. I started. I started with a $200 computer. Okay. Well, no, I started with my uncle's stuff, but then some stuff happened. You know, it don't matter. You can start with less. Okay,
Mhm.
and build your
Okay.
way
Thank.
up. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
But I like the power. Yeah, power. I would suggest power. Pretty pricey, but I do it. Anybody else? Any other question? Y'all can lay some questions on me if y'all want me to keep on going, because I can keep on going.
Montez,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
go back to the list of the low boards you had up?
Okay. And see, when you talk about the low boards, right? Hold on now, no, I was just talking about low boards right there. Oh no, there you go. Like this is just a little bit. There's a whole bunch of low boards out there. You know what I mean? I go through all the low boards, and I can give you I like we can get low boards. Like the low boards is a good thing to have. It's a great thing to have. It gives us a whole bunch of information, right? But as you're going, you're gonna get to the point where you're not gonna look on the low boards. The only thing you're gonna look on the low boards is do research. I do a lot of research. I make some calls off the low board, but then all the brokers is doing the same thing, and you're working with the same people. So if I see a load, instead of calling on, I just call the person hey, what's this Somerset, New Jersey to Hartford, Connecticut you got? Oh, you need the reference number? Okay, here you go. 459827. You know, load boards, load boards is great for information too. You're gonna learn off the load board. You're gonna basically you're gonna look at the load board and always know what to calculate and do what
Who?
you need to do.
Who?
Summer Walker.
Well, damn it right now. Okay, Miss Jacqueline. All right. Um, what's the difference in the subscription? It's like the subscription on DAT is 170. I pay 170 for mine. I got one. You know, you said you couldn't see the script. Okay, you said it was blurred. I thought it was. I thought it came in clear. Um,
I do have a question there. I think you maybe having a hard time hearing me. Give me a info on that. Like, is it hard to hear me?
is it hard to what?
Is it extremely hard to hear me?
It's like I could. Is it hard to hear you? It's like you blurring in and out, like with something in the background. I am using Total Dispatch. That's what I use. But I use a whole bunch of other stuff too. I use HubSpot to track my emails because I use that for the broker communication because every time you got to cover your own ass. So there's I know when people open my emails. That's why I like HubSpot. I pay that little subscription every month just for that. MailChimp, that's free. You can send out 10,000 emails with MailChimp, bulk emails at that. So what I do every morning is when I have my carriers, I basically go to MailChimp and from my CRM from HubSpot, I basically just, exported them over. So I have all the emails. So I just email them and basically like about 500 emails go out like at 7 o'clock in the morning. So whoever
Okay, can you hear me better now?
yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay, so I wanted to ask something about because I know you kind of went over it already in regards to like um I mean I'm just asking because I've been doing like a lot of research. So in regards to like the or the carrier or whatever, when they have their authority, is it true like sometimes a lot of brokers or shippers don't want to work with the ones that have like a new authority or like it needs to age? Because I know with me being new, I'm gonna be looking for newer carriers.
Yeah. Now that's how it is. When you have a new authority, they're basically gonna look at it to where your age. That's why it's always good to have you know a carrier manager that has connections. That's what I was saying. Like when you are looking for carriers, you also got to talk to these brokers, right? Because that's how you're going to basically be able to help these new carriers that got new MCs. This industry is built off reputation. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So if you're making the phone calls to the brokers, to the carriers, you may not be able to match up with a carrier right now, but if you talk to a broker here in the near future, you could basically go back to that carrier and say, "Hey, I have a connection that can service your needs right now." I was just sitting here, I was just wondering if you are still looking or if I can help you out with something. Maybe you can get a load from me here and there.
So, as far as like building that relationship with the broker. You know how you have the script of contacting recruiting a carrier, like being a new dispatcher or carrier manager. How do you have that where you call broker and say, I mean, how do you give them the confidence as far as dealing with you because you're new?
Well, when you're doing this, at the end of the day, a broker's not going to know if you're new or not if you know how to talk to them, right?
Okay.
So if you're talking their language, you know how to professionally put it in a way to where he understands you and you understands him. He ain't gonna know you new. Girl, you
Okay.
could girl, you could sound like you've been in the game for 5 years, right?
Gotcha.
Because
Yeah.
when you practice when you practice and you keep on going and you build your craft, then guess what? It's going to keep on coming flow. It's going to be speaking another language. So you're always going to be building. And then when you call them, you could call the broker. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, this is Montez. Yeah, I seen that you had a couple loads going out here. I was wondering if is that something that you do all the time? Well, yeah, I have it. Just told you, like, look, I ain't playing. Here, like this guy right here, reefer loads. Matter of fact, here's a gym for you. Boom. I'm about to give y'all his name in the chat. Give me his name. His name is Gary. He works for Matson. This is logistics, but I'll just put Matson, okay? The MC number is 218-094. Call me today. Reefer loads. The Midwest. There you go. If you got if you're already doing this and you run into a person with reefers, like look, hey, call Gary. I ain't lying. You call him, hey, I was talking to Montez and I'm seeing if you have any of those loads. He ain't gonna tell you. You got them for 6 weeks straight. Oh really? And you just keep on calling them. You keep on calling that one person. You keep on calling these brokers. Like that's what I do. I call them off the humbug. And then when I have to call them when I need them, you wanna know what I do? Hey man, I tried to call you, man. You ducking my calls, man? I'm trying to book. Oh no, for real, you called me? I'm like, yeah, man. I called you about 12 times, man. Oh man, they gonna tell you some stuff. Like, all right, don't worry about that. Let's see if we can work with each other today. But yeah, you can build with your brokers. That's how you establish a relationship. That's why you're so important. That's why you're more than a dispatcher and you're a carrier manager because you're managing these relationships. That's why it's so important to have a right driver and the right carrier that's going to get to the pickup and the drop off on time. All this stuff is important. There's a lot of people out there that when you wanting to do this stuff, it's more than finding carriers, but you got to know how to talk to them. You got to know this business. Like you got to be consistent in it, consistent enough that you're not burning yourself out or anything. But a lot of this stuff, I go over. Teach you how to fill out the rate con, what you have to do. Make sure that you get the rate con. Make sure you like teach you how to learn it, like to read it, to read the rate con. Because if you miss anything on the rate con, it could cost money. Have a rate con process, the BOL process. you gotta make sure this is signed. You gotta make sure it's signed. You gotta make sure that you have it. You gotta make sure that your driver has it. Send me that Send me that BOL as soon as you get it. As soon as you get to the shipper, they give you the BOL. Send it to me. Had a driver forget a BOL. He forgot a BOL, and he talk about and this is why I say you got to vet drivers. You know, you have drivers out there say, "Oh man, I've been in this for 20 years. I've been in this for 18 years," and all this other good stuff. And then next thing you know, you telling me that you forgot the BOL. Like, oh, y'all supposed to handle the BOL. How we handling the BOL when it's in your possession? Really? It's in your possession. You got it. It ain't like you left it at the shipper. You at the receiver. You had the BOL. It's in your possession. You gave it to him and didn't get it back signed. But that's very important because guess what? You don't have a BOL, you ain't getting paid. It's not even going to show that you delivered this load. It is not a load until it's complete. So guess what? That's that's a headache you're gonna have to handle. You got to make sure. Calling the broker, talking to the broker. You got to be quick. When you talking to a broker and you going back and forth, you got to be real quick. You got to ask the question that you need. You need to control the conversation. You need to be quick. And oh, especially with box truck loads. I don't know how far along y'all are in y'all journey, but go ahead. I don't know if you call box truck loads yet. I'm so excited for tomorrow. I can't wait to go to sleep for 2 hours and wake back up at 5 a.m. and talk to my people that's gonna let me get on their Selectus board. I'm so excited about that. About to get on Selectus. I've been wanting to be in Selectus or on Selectus for the past 5 months. 5 months ago, I found out about it. For 5 months, I've been sitting out in the rain, in the snow, in the sleet, outside the club, waiting to get in. And now I'm finally in. Oh yeah, it's going down. But when you're talking to these brokers, you got to be real quick. You got to ask the questions that you need to ask quickly. What's the commodity? What's the rate? What's the trip miles? What's the length? So when do I have to pick up? The delivery time? It's going to be more questions. Because when you have all these questions, guess what? Remember what we were sitting here talking about with the equipment, right? You got to talk to the carrier to know what kind of equipment that they have. You got to know what they're using to have that equipment. If they have straps, if they have load bars, if they have, binders changed for flatbeds, do they have ramps? Because then these are the questions that you have to ask when you have it. The origin, always ask for the zip code. What's the zip code to the origin? They're going to tell you. What's that zip code to the destination? He's going to tell you. All these things is basically controlling the conversation. And see, and that's what I show because during the weekday, between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., I'm making calls. I'm working. Y'all seeing me work. I did it with my last class. We had a ball. They see me work. They like, what? What? Seriously? Yo, for real? Oh, we had a good time. Cause this is fun. I love it. I wake up every morning wanting to do this stuff. I'm telling you. But you gotta be quick. You gotta be quick, professional. You gotta have control of the conversation so you can decide. Because you gotta realize you gotta think about a whole bunch of stuff. You gotta think about the commodity, you have to think about the weight, you have to think about the rate, you have to think about, the miles that's driven. You gotta think about the hours of service that your driver has, how many hours he has left, when does he have to do his reset? All that you're gonna have to think about, and you have to be quick on your feet to make a decision. Because if anything's wrong or something says wrong, guess what? Conversation over. You just missed another load. Can't have a mistake. You gotta be prepared. You know what I mean? Like my little fruits and stuff over there. That's what you got. That stuff, like, it prepares you. You know what I mean? All the herbs and the little spices and y'all get it. Y'all get the picture, right? Prepare yourself. This is what this is gonna do. It's preparing you. This is what you want to do is get prepared. Stay ready. Don't have to get ready. That's for anything. You got to have a process. You got to check the rate, calculate the rate per mile. You got to do that quickly. You got to know where you're at so you know where they need to book it, right? You got to know where you're at. Go on Google Maps, put in the destination, put in the origin, see how far it is, see if you have any tolls, see if you're going up in the mountains, see if you're going on flat land, see if you're going down to Florida where you do not want to go if you don't have a load coming out. But see where it's going. Because all these things that you basically are talking about, this is going to help you negotiate with the broker. Because when he's telling you that you're going all the way up in the mountains, and then next thing you know, it's snowing up there, and they want you to drive overnight at the pickup 24-hour shipper, and then get there at 9 a.m. in the morning, and it's overnight and it's snowing, you got to watch out for all this stuff. Look, that's a risk that we're going to have to take, but we're not taking that risk, and we're not going to be down with it if we're not getting the rate that we want. So when you're able to navigate and talk about the market, which you're going to learn, the equipment, which you're going to learn, the rates in the area, which you're going to learn. All this stuff is going to basically be helpful to you. So when you negotiate with the broker, you're getting the highest paying rate. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Negotiating with these brokers. It could be like pulling teeth, especially with box trucks, boy. They'll get on your nerves. They'll sit there, hello, yeah, you go through all the whole spiel, and then they sit there and tell you, be like, oh, no, I can't go any higher than that. The best I can do is $850. Man, I need $1,000. No, I don't have that much in it, buddy. Look, I work with you, you work with me. All right, we do it for 900. 900. You work with me? All right, we do it for 900. All right, hold on. Come back on the line. Oh, this load been covered. Like, what? Like, seriously? Like, come on. We was just sitting there talking. So it's gonna go back and forth. That's why you gotta be quick and efficient. You gotta be careful that you're not going back and forth too much that you're gonna lose the whole load. But you want to go enough so you can see how far you can go to get you know actually want, because you're gonna know the numbers to make your trucks move. You're gonna know that, right? You gotta be smart when negotiating. You want to get a good paying load, but you know you just don't want to push it. Just like I was saying, you know, I'll teach y'all that. Go over all this. Go over a carrier setup packet. I mean process. Let you know what you have to do on that. Let you know about factoring. With some factoring companies to work with. I like working with TAS, man. They cool. I work with TAS. They all right. Um, uh, my uncle's trucking company works with iThrive, but trying to get him to switch. But I know people in every last one of them. I like TAS, but I work with everybody else. Cause y'all can too. Cause guess what? You get a percentage. You send a carrier there. You know, you help sign up a carrier, then you get 10% of their total fee or whatever. So basically, let's say your carrier does a load and TAF charged them a $37 fee. All right, for after the charges, after giving them their money faster. Well, out of that $37, okay, you get 10% of that. That's what I got with TAF. I get 10% of it. So I get $3.70. All right. You keep on doing that and that adds up. Like that adds up. You can do that with all of them. I don't care who they go to. As long as I refer them. Hope they treat you great, buddy. Whichever one that you go to. Whoever you go to, I'm already gonna know. I already got the email. I'm the one that sent them to you. So yeah, that's what you can do with these factoring companies. That's just an extra bonus for you doing your hard work, for you keeping up with these carriers, right? Let you know about double brokering. You gotta watch that. I'll show you how to catch it. Let's see. I lost a 3K Friday waiting on my carrier to decide if she wanted the load or not. See, you're gonna get that. That's the painful thing. The I don't have an app for that. Like only thing I would have like for that is like my TMS, like the weather. Um, I pretty much like negotiate the rates well. Oh yeah, all the load boards they show those details as well, but I can find it for you. I don't normally basically worry about that. Um, because I have it in my, I don't look it up because I have it in my head because I see it all the time with, my uncle's company. You know what I mean? Like when you see stuff and when you see like bills, you'll see it. Like I got firsthand knowledge of it because I see it, you know. So it's hard for me to just go out and see the rates or whatever because I'm experiencing it right now. I see the rates going up and down. That's why I always say the rates is the rates. It's about how like I'm not going to change. I'm still going to basically know what I need to do to get my truck moving. But yeah, I'll show you all that. Like, because I know my TMS, they do the tolls too. They do the tolls and weather. And then, you can look up the gas. You can look up the gas too. Um, but
Monte, excuse me, I'm sorry. When you
mhm.
say a TMS, is that the same thing as what a lot of people call back office?
Yeah, yeah, back
Okay.
office. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Um, but yeah, that'll burn me up too. You found a 3K load on a box truck? That is phenomenal. Okay. What was the miles? What was the miles on that thing though? 3,000. You have to check the miles to see if it's worth it. But carriers will do that to you. Carriers will always do that to you. They, oh well, I don't know, or what, this. Hold on. Nah, man. I get a carrier like that, I leave them alone. They ain't hearing from me. They ain't hearing from me at all. I got this one carrier. He sends me text. He just sends me text out the blue. He always like he always be pushing it, and you know I I mess with him. I work with him. But he just sends me something 608 talking about Monday. I need a load out of Olaf, Kansas. I don't know if y'all can see that, but he's sitting there. It's probably blurry. I don't know, but yeah, he just sent me that. Like, all right, cool. You gonna get him like that? But I only mess with him when I want him. I call him like, hey, I got a load. You take it or leave it, and most of the time he's gonna take it. You know, we got a good rapport and stuff like that. I don't mind. You're gonna have carriers like that. You know what I mean? Sign your contract, but you're always staying in communication.
Hello?
Like, somebody said something? Okay. But I teach y'all
Montez,
about.
I have a question. I have a carrier that went behind my back and booked his quote unquote own load out of Texas, and now he's been in Denver. He unloaded Friday, and now he's looking for me to get him out of Denver.
Okay. Oh hell no, we ain't doing nothing.
That's so it's like you contact me Friday evening. Most brokers are trying to get out the office 4:30, 5 o'clock. He's still there. So at this point, I have tried to contact several brokers to get him a load out on Monday, but everybody's closed for the weekend, quite naturally. Um, so
So so what you can do is, oh, are you asking me what you should do, or
yes,
you just telling me?
what should I do?
Okay,
He
that's
sat
what I.
there this whole weekend. I mean, of course, like I said, the brokers, they're gone home. Nobody's answering phone calls or emails.
That's okay. Where you at? What city you at?
Denver, Colorado.
Man, I don't even mess with Denver, Colorado, man. I don't mess
But
with Denver.
again, he went behind my back and booked the load. He texted me when he was on the road. I was like, what?
You got a box truck?
Yes, 26 footer with a lift gate.
How much can he pull? How much can he have?
He said 10K, but I wouldn't do anything over 9.
He said 10K.
That's what he told me. 10K is his max weight. But again, like I said, I wouldn't push anything over 9.
What's your number? Text me your number. I'm about to put it in. I'm about to put it in there and post this truck.
Text you what number,
So
honey?
whatever number that you use, contact you. So if you get a phone call, somebody can call you about a load.
Okay, 10-4.
But I'll look. Damn, it ain't nothing out there. Damn, that's 150.
Exactly. 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 So I've literally been staying up for the past 2 nights, all night, stalking multiple load boards, and there's absolutely nothing out there. Even if you deadhead the miles 150 to 200, it's nothing.
Damn. So this is what you can do. Have you talked to how many brokers have you talked to? Like how long have you been doing this?
We will say 2 months. I've been doing it for 2 months actively.
Okay. All right. Now you can basically call these other, even though these brokers don't have nothing in your area or whatever, you never know. So you can still email them. Email that person, call that person, and basically see if there's something that they basically missed. Because sometimes just because the carrier that you're talking to in one part, you know what I mean, they have their own separate loads. So it's always good to call the broker. Like I ran into that before. Like I'm probably going to run into it now because I have a box truck, and I guess hopefully I don't even know Olaf or Olaf, I don't know, but that's what he just sit there and text me about getting the load. What's today? The 23rd. Hold on, we was looking at the 23rd. Maybe we got something tomorrow. No, no, mm-mm, no.
There's nothing. I've emailed 8 brokers and left messages on 4 voicemails. Again, I know they were gone home for the weekend, but I didn't know the frequency that they check their voicemails or emails. So I tried.
You can get it now. That's a hard tax you got because I don't even. Dang, Colorado. What possessed him? Where he go from?
Killeen, Texas, and I wouldn't have booked that load for him for the simple fact if as you can see, there were no backhauls coming out of there. So I wouldn't have sent him there on a Friday, knowing there are no backhauls out of there, or even in
Yeah, I
this
wouldn't even.
area.
Like, I wouldn't go to no Denver, Colorado.
He took it on his own, like I said, and then he told me after he got on the
He had a
highway
better
that
chance.
he was
He had
gone.
a better chance going to from Killeen, Texas. He had a better chance. Like, why didn't he book himself a load going to the Midwest?
I have no idea.
Because you go to Killeen, Texas, that don't make sense, bro. That's 1,200 miles. Let's see.
And he's a carrier that
Oh well,
likes to go out for three
that's
weeks and
100
come
miles
back for
different.
one. So he's expecting to be out for the next 3 weeks.
Oh, he's expecting to be out for the next man. I've been out. Like, if I was you, I try to get him to the Midwest. So if he's gonna be out for 3 weeks, don't get upset. Is he still working with you? It's like you're gonna be like, man, all right, whatever, you know. But you're gonna sit here and you're gonna talk to him. You're gonna be like, look, you gonna book your own load. We're gonna work something out to where if you book your own load and you wasting my time, that you're gonna have to pay me. You like I'm for real. I'm dead serious. Your time like cause what if how many carriers do you have?
4.
4. Okay then. There you go. You got 4 carriers, and guess what? You're gonna have that minute, that time that you basically is using for him, and he booking his own load, is time that you're taking away from another carrier
True.
and stuff that and you don't even know if something may come up. Can you imagine sitting here, you you booking a load, you booking a load, and you looking for him, you trying to find a load, and you negotiating the load, and then you get the load, and then next thing you know, he call you, he telling you he on the load. And then while you doing that, meanwhile, you got a truck in Dandridge, Tennessee that's broke down out of Love's and can't fix the trailer because he was told that if he fixed the trailer and something happened or he's responsible and he ain't gonna get reimbursed. Like, you don't want people to be taking your time up. Be real with me, man. Be transparent with me, because if I wasn't doing my job and providing you this service, guess what? You'll be yelling at me talking about, oh, where's my load? Where's my load? Where's my load? Well, you keep on booking your own damn loads.
Right. Okay.
So don't play that. Nah, homie, don't play that. Be transparent with them. Be in your professional manner. Just say, look, man, look, this if we want to move forward, continue to grow, we're here to grow together. You
Mhm.
know, I got to know what's going on. I can't be looking out here for you and then you doing something else. And I have other people I work with too, sir.
Understanding.
I'm sorry, because that happens. I get real with people. I'm telling you. But I teach you how to do the double broker and figure that out. How you handle the situation on a double broker deal. How you handle the process. There's always a process. Go through all the processes. You know, but this is basically everything that you're gonna. This is basically everything that you're gonna get. I'm not gonna sit here and you know tell you something and the next thing you know do another. That's not how that works. That's not how it gets down. Because when you basically is doing this is very important. I want everybody to realize that, because when I say I seen the ins and outs of it, have I ever driven a truck? No, but I rode in one. I know about them. I know how to you know make them profitable. I know the maintenance of it. I know who to go to, and if it breaks down in a certain city or in all these different cities, because I got mobile mechanics on where I run. Like, I talk to so many people over the phone that it feels like I know them. Like we about to like talk to them every day. Like I'm walking over to their house, but we miles away. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna be talking to people constantly. So if you're gonna be doing that, let's get better on learning how to perfect it. Get better. Because when you get better, guess what? Everything's gonna come to you. Finding the carriers, talking to the brokers, knowing your equipment, knowing your markets, knowing how to negotiate, knowing what questions to ask the brokers, knowing how to vet your carrier. See, that's my brokers. This is my brokers list right here. This is my brokers list right here. So I don't, you know what I mean? Not like I can make all phone calls on what I want to. All right, this person does the round trips. Let's see if they got something. Let's see whoever got something. Let's see what they got. I'm looking in that area. This is a person that been in that area. Let me see what they got. Oh, he does reefer loads. Let me see if he got somewhere I need him at. Oh, he do box trucks. Let me see what they got. Don't don't really need a low board. Use a low board for research. It's basically gonna be all research. You know, But that's what I teach. 2 weeks straight. After that, we're gonna you either gonna do 101s till you get it. It's gonna be availability. All right. So now starting to die down. Basically, letting you know the course. The course costs. A lot of people was wondering about that. What it is. It's $300. Goes for 2 weeks. My courses go for 2 weeks. Okay. The first week is basically it's the educational week. That's the educational week. We're going over everything. Everything. It's going to be more in depth to answering the questions, answering what you do in certain matters, and basically you seeing me do what I have to do and how I handle things. All right. The following 2 weeks after that is basically one-on-one helping you start your business, or you can roll with my company, depending on if I hire some people out of there. Classes are recorded. So if you miss a class, which I don't suggest anyone to miss a class, but if two things come up, is everybody has lives. Understand that. That's why they're recorded. Have daily live calls. Okay. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm here. And then next thing you know, got class at night. This is real serious. If you taking this serious, you're here. I don't know if you was wanting free training or anything of that nature, but if you really want to grow in it, then this is the time to basically do it. Because I promise you, you're gonna learn a lot of stuff. You're gonna get a lot of intel. You're gonna get a lot of knowledge. You're gonna get a lot of opportunity with this. Okay. But yeah, I do a payment plan, so we ain't trying to bust the bank, nothing like that at all. I provide you with leads, list, information, all the stuff that you need to be successful. Brokers list, got it. As soon as you learn how to talk to a broker, boom, you got it. These are people that I talked to, worked with. I give you an example. Talking about new MCs. Who said that they was just starting out and they're going to be working with new MCs? They still in the group? They still in here?
I'm just starting out.
So let me tell you a little story that happened a couple weeks ago. I just started with this new MC. They
I'm
got
here.
the
I'm sorry.
MC. Okay. They got the MC on December 6th. Okay. Got it December 6th. So what I did, well, I called this one spot, agriculture logistics. I was sitting there talking to him on the phone. I gave him their MC. She was all like, "Oh, they just got the MC." I was all like, "Yeah, they good. They used to run for me." And what happened is they branched off and they got their own trucks. So, they're good. He was like, "Well, I need 3 references." I said, "All right, no problem." She said it can't be Coyote, TQL, or Convoy. I was like, "All right, cool." You wanna know what I did? Because the relationships I have with the brokers, I called 3 different brokers and asked them if they can vouch for my new carrier that just got their MC. And they all did it. They all did it. From me building relationships. I was able to get a new carrier a good paying load. And that was all just from working with them before, making phone calls to them, keeping up with them. Hey, how you doing, man? You doing all right? Yeah, I was just checking in on you. Sometimes they don't even call about a load. One of the girls, her name Heather, she live in Chattanooga, Trident, Trident Transport. She got a little dog. Hey, man, how's my little Shih Tzu doing? See, I booked a load through 3 people with somebody else. They helped me book a load. A load that I wouldn't have never got if I didn't do what I do and have a good relationship with them. Um, oh, I'll answer that question. But yeah, that's what I teach. This is just going to enhance. This is just going to enhance the thing that you got going on now. If you have questions about anything, if you feel that you don't, no, we're gonna go over your equipment. We're gonna go over the compliance. You got to know compliance, but it's all up to you. I hope that y'all, learn something. Is factoring required? Um, no, factoring is not required, but it's recommended, and everybody wants to do factoring. Reason being why you want to do factoring is because the carrier gets the money like within 24 hours. All right. Remember, because that's where the rate con and the BOL comes in. Because what happens is once you have a signed rate con, okay, and also question, do on a rate con for some of y'all that's already doing it, or hopefully you book loads. On a rate con, do you sign the carrier's name or your name? Anybody?
Your name?
I would say your name because you're going to be like the COA.
You always sign your name on the carrier agreement. I mean, not the carrier agreement, the rate con. Shows that you are on it. You've done it. Always sign it. So you're gonna basically download it. You're gonna download it, upload it to your PDF filler, which I do. Sign it. You either do your little. You either have automatic signature or your signature, whatever it may be. Sign it. Send it to the carrier. Send it to the broker.
I've
But
been doing
what I
electronic fill. Is that still acceptable? Because it puts
yeah,
the date stamp on there.
yep, yep. But with the factoring comes in, you gotta make sure you have the signed rate con. Then you gotta make sure that you have the signed BOL or any pictures. Like some of them's gonna have you take pictures of the trailer if you're doing a load out or a towaway or pulling somebody else's trailer. So make sure that you have all that information that you need, because that's the information that your carrier needs to get paid in the factoring company. So when you send all that to the factoring company is going to automatically shoot them their money. That's how we always know that they getting paid, because we doing the business with the factoring company. Yeah, they didn't shot you your money. Because I sent it to them. Because when I send it to them, I send it to the carrier, I send it to the broker, I send it to the factoring company, and I also send it to the extra email that the broker has. It could be quick pay at cardinal.com or accounting at cardinal.com. It could be either or. I'm sending it to all four. and I'm sending it from my CRM, so nobody can sit there and say that, oh, I didn't get it, because I can see when you open it, right? Protect yourself. But see, when they do that, you're gonna send everything to the factoring company. Factoring company is gonna pay your carrier, and that's how they're gonna get paid. They're gonna take out a fee, and that's how they get paid. That's why these loads. That's why you gotta know how to negotiate these loads. When you know how to negotiate these loads, then the percentage that he get, you know what I mean, from the factoring company is going to be obsolete. It's going to be out of there, because you got to realize, I don't know what you plan on, doing your fee at. My fee is 9.25, and then I got a 7.25 fee with a 325 setup fee. So I get, just because some of my carriers want um want 2% lower, they pay up front. I'll teach you how to do that, because you're building value. Every day that you do this, and every time that you build a relationship with a broker over the phone, because we doing this all from home, you're going to basically be building a relationship. So why not get paid what you worth? But that's all going to come with it. But you always want to do the factory, because you got to look at what you charge them, and then what the factoring company is going to be charging them. That's why you always ask, your carrier, hey, how much they charging you percentage? Oh, they charge me 2.7. All right. Well, you better add that when you're negotiating, you better add that 2.7 to that 10% that you charge them, or that 7% that you charge them, because that's what they're actually getting, paying out. So you gotta up it up, so so it's not affecting them, because you gotta realize, when he lose, you lose. You don't ever want to be in a situation where the carrier say they can't pay you. That's why this negotiating thing is very, very important.
Hello?
I think we lost him again. Froze.
Um,
Yeah, he's lost again.
So have any of you worked this class before, or with this presenter?